coachable and the offense not being able to evolve because of him. And we know A.J. Brown's discontent right now. Does that coming out today and maybe connecting some dots change your mind on A.J. Brown's future, whether he remains in Philly or goes elsewhere, maybe like New England?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think that AJ is getting close to that age where some GMs will be a little bit more reluctant to sign on for a long-term deal. So I don't think that, despite the fact that the Eagles seem to agree with some of the things about the offense that AJ was upset about, I still think that they might be open.
Mike Vrabel spoke at the owners' meetings yesterday and was asked about the possibility of acquiring his former wide receiver, A.J. Brown, from the Eagles.
We're going to try to do everything we can to strengthen our roster through the draft, through free agency, multiple ways of player acquisition. So anything that we can continue to do to strengthen the roster, we're going to try to do.
All right, so that was him giving – you're laughing because you know exactly what they're doing at those things.
Yeah, and what he's saying is, yeah, we would love to have A.J. Brown, and you'd be crazy to think that I wouldn't want to have A.J. Brown. So, you know, in the dot connecting world, obviously a lot of success in Tennessee together. Patriots had a great year. They need a receiver on the outside. They moved on from Stephon Diggs. So clearly this makes sense. Again, just to remind the audience, as Dan Graziano reported earlier in the week, there's a significant difference if they would trade A.J. Brown after June 1st. So we'll see what happens. But Mike Vrabel, like, you know, he can't come out and say the player's aim for tampering purposes. Right. But that's about, I mean, he's like, in that world, he's screaming from the rooftops.
Like,
yeah, of course.
I can tell you since the combine, I had a GM say to me, I said, A.J. Brown, would you have any interest? And he's like, oh, Patriots are all in on that. I know the Patriots are going to be all in on A.J. Brown. That was back weeks ago. Everybody in the NFL, you okay there, Mike? Everybody in the NFL has sort of been looking at New England and A.J., that connection between Vrabel and A.J. Brown. Vrabel was asked about it at the combine. He was like, this is a guy that I'm close with, that I check in with. We check in on each other, not just when things are going bad, but when they're going good. And you already know that if they have a need, and there's a guy who may or may not be happy in his current city, why not try to make some work?
And Nick, that begs the question. We had the story at the top of the show and the reporting done by McManus and Jeremy Fowler about Jalen Hurts and him not being
to trading him if they could get some quality back in return. But I think, to the Patriots' point, while they were in the Super Bowl, that offensive run during the playoffs was really bad. So they need some help on that side of the ball, clearly.
Yeah, and look, and we're talking about a young quarterback and stunting young quarterbacks' growth. Drake May was phenomenal in year 2, but you've got to build on that with what Nick is saying and shore up some things that could make the quarterback take a step back.
Yeah, and there's also a sense of urgency, Matt, because, you know, he's on a rookie deal in a year or so. When he's extension eligible, these become a much harder problems to solve. So certainly another offensive lineman or two, and again, a number 1 wide receiver, and the Patriots have a chance to get back.
Can I just add one thing, though? A lot of teams make the mistake of thinking they're further along in the process of being Super Bowl, like we are definite Super Bowl like contenders, and they overinflate, they overestimate their roster. So I don't know, are they an A.J. Brown away? I know.
Bears fans, hold on for a second and answer me this. If A.J. Brown is really the kind of star who could shake loose later this offseason, how in the world do the Chicago Bears not at least make that call? Haha, seriously, think about the timing. Think about Caleb Williams. Think about Ben Johnson trying to open this offense up. And then picture a true alpha wide receiver lining up in navy and orange at Soldier Field. Yeah, that is why this story is so dangerous, man. Because officially, yes, A.J. Brown is still an Eagle, and the Eagles keep saying the same thing over and over, that he is a member of the team, nothing has changed, move along. Fine, that is the public line. But the reason this thing keeps breathing is because the math, the timing, and the market are all screaming that if anything ever happens, it makes way more sense later than earlier. Haha, and that is exactly why Bears fans should be paying attention right now, not later, because this is the kind of move that can shift an offense from promising to terrifying. Chicago already has young talent in the room. Rome Odunze is there, Luther Burden III is there, Khalif Raymond is there, and there is real upside in that group. But come on now, A.J. Brown is not just upside, A.J. Brown is certainty. He is violence after the catch. He is a bully at the catch point. He is the kind of receiver who makes a young quarterback feel like every third down has a real answer. Haha, and that is why this fit makes people dream. Caleb Williams is still in that golden rookie contract window, and that is when smart franchises strike if a true star becomes available. Not recklessly, not stupidly, but aggressively. That is the whole game. And if the Eagles ever decide the time is right, the Bears have multiple ways to attack it. Solution number 1, and the cleanest one, is timing. Wait for the post-June 1 window, when the cap hit becomes easier for Philadelphia to manage and the whole conversation becomes more realistic. Solution number 2 is Chicago creating room on its own side, because the Bears are not sitting on giant cap flexibility right now, so any real move for Brown would require restructures, extensions, or another salary-clearing move first. Solution number 3 is building the trade around future premium picks instead of gutting the roster. Because if you are Ryan Poles, you want to add the star without destroying the support structure around Caleb. And solution number 4 is staying patient if this drags into training camp, because sometimes these situations do not break early. They break when frustration, money, and timing all meet in the middle. Haha, and tell me this would not be insane. A.J. Brown on one side, Rome Odunze on the other, Burden moving around the formation, Cole Kmet working the seams, Caleb firing with confidence, and Ben Johnson dialing up stress for every defense in the league. Oh man, that is not just fun, that is the kind of offense that can make the whole NFC North nervous. And look, let's keep it real, because I'm not here to fake insider news and act like a deal is done. It is not. Brown is still officially on the Eagles roster, and the public messaging out of Philadelphia has not changed. But that does not mean Chicago should ignore the possibility. It means Chicago should be ready if the door cracks open, because stars like this do not become available every day. And when you have a young quarterback, a rising offense, and a chance to supercharge the whole thing, you at least explore it. You at least get in the room. You at least ask what the real price is. And honestly, Bears fans, even talking about a move like this tells you something huge about where this franchise is now. The Bears are not supposed to think small anymore. They are supposed to think about finishing the build, about maximizing Caleb, about surrounding him with as much certainty, explosion, and toughness as possible. So now I want to hear from you. If the Eagles ever soften and A.J. Brown truly becomes available, would you pay the heavy price to bring him to Chicago? Or would you trust the young room and keep building the slow way? Drop your take in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and bear down. Because if the Bears ever land a weapon like this, the whole league is gonna feel it.